Welcome back to another episode of Inside Louisiana Basketball. I'm Krista Toussaint, and today I'm going to sit down with Bob Marlin and Garry Brodhead. But first, we're going to head courtside to hear a recap from this past weekend's games from Dan McDonald and Luana Stokes.
Louisiana's Ragin Cajun women's basketball team adds to a win streak. They have not been able to say that much this year, but they can here at the Cajun Dome as they take a 59-48 win over Georgia Southern in a key Sun Belt Conference contest. I'm Dan McDonald along with Luana Stokes, and Luana, they turned it over to the freshmen. The freshman class scored 46 points, led by the 25 of Brandi Williams.
Exactly. Brandi Williams did an outstanding job on today. I mean, I'm not sure what happened the game before, but today she really stepped up to the plate, and she made some things happen for the Cajuns.
Williams only had 3 points in the Thursday win over Georgia State. Cajuns had some other people step up then, but today it was the freshmen stepping up, making shots from all over. The product of Barb High School also made 4 big free throws at the end to help the Cajuns hold off a Eagle team that tried to rally late. Georgia Southern found itself down most of the game. In fact, the Eagles never led in the ball game. Game was tied several times. Cajuns had the lead in the fourth quarter. Georgia Southern refused to go away, and the Cajuns had to make all those shots at the end.
Exactly. Suddenly it was like a little pest tonight. They wouldn't let the Cajuns rest, and they attacked them each time, but each time the Cajuns came on top. So that speaks volume for the Cajuns on tonight.
Andrea Canoyer adds 14 points. Jasmine Womack comes off the bench and scores 7, so that's 3 freshmen that combined to score 46 points. Skylar Goodwin with 8 points, the other top scorer for Louisiana. And Luana, Coach Garry Brodhead has talked a lot about how good he thinks some of his freshmen are this year and about how much he's having to depend on them, and they really showed it in this one.
And they are. He's done an awesome job with them on offense, and the freshmen, they just step up to the game, and they worked as a team. I actually saw teamwork on tonight.
Cajuns also did a good job defensively. Leading scorer for Georgia Southern, Alexis Brown. She came in averaging over 16 a game, leading scorer for the Eagles. She was held to 12 points, only 5 out of 14 from the field before she fouled out in about the last 90 seconds. And overall, Georgia Southern only shoots 34.5% from the floor, and they only shoot 28% in the fourth quarter when the game was really decided.
Exactly, and losing Brown to the bench really hurt the Eagles on tonight.
Georgia Southern with 21 turnovers in the game forced by the Cajuns, and that was the bugaboo for Louisiana on Thursday night. They did survive in that Thursday night game and won over Georgia State by that 57-54 score, but they had 21 turnovers themselves in that one, and a lot of those came at the end, really made that one a lot closer than it should have been.
Exactly, Dan, and again, the turnovers hurt the Eagles, as well as not being consistent with the ball and not being consistent with rebounding. That really hurt them on today.
In that Thursday game, it was Ty Doucette. We've been used to seeing her have big games, and she had another one on Thursday. 23 points and 7 rebounds, made 10 of 16 shots from the field in that one. Also, Jamira Mathis had a big game on Thursday night. She had 14 points after really struggling over the last 2 or 3 games. So, Luana, I think that's a great thing for the Cajuns that different people are stepping up every night.
And that's, again, that speaks volume for the team, that the coach can actually go to the bench and pull out some awesome players.
Cajuns lost their first 2 conference games on the road on the Arkansas road swing. They lost to Arkansas State and Little Rock. Both of them relatively close games. Both of them pretty much decided. One decided in the first quarter, but the Cajuns held their own after that. One of them not decided until the last 3 or 4 minutes. These 2 games this week against Georgia State and Georgia Southern, both of them came right down to it in the fourth quarter. One game Cajuns struggled and hung on, but on Saturday against Georgia Southern, they were the team that looked like they were the ones that were in control in the fourth quarter.
And you know what, Dan? I'm glad the win turned out this way because the Cajuns, they have been working extremely hard, and this win really gets them set up for the next game.
Cajuns improved to 4-11 overall. More importantly, they improved to 2-2 in the Sun Belt Conference race. With the loss, Georgia Southern falls to 5-10, 0-4 in the conference race. And one big thing, you want to try to stay even early. Cajuns lost 2 on the road, but they come back and win 2 at home, so they pretty much have held serve in this one, and they'll play another home game next Saturday when they take on ULM in the big state rivalry game.
Exactly. ULM has always been a state rivalry game for the Ragin Cajuns, and hopefully these 2 wins have prepared them for the ULM on Saturday.
Cajuns against ULM, that comes up on Saturday at 2 p.m. right here at the Cajun Dome, as the Cajuns will go for a third third straight conference win after starting off 0-2, so they are really starting to turn things around, and they're doing it at the right time as we get into conference play. For Gowanus Stokes, I'm Dan McDonald. We're here at the Cajun Dome. Come out and join us on Saturday.
Next on Inside Louisiana Basketball, we sit down with Garry Brodhead.
Happy and you know it's Zydeco. If you're happy and you know it's Zydeco. If you're happy and you know it, then your feet will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it's Zydeco. If you're happy and you know it, mange. If you're happy and you know it, mange. If you're happy and you know it, nothing God will help you show it. If you're happy and you know it, mange.
The 2019 Sun Belt Basketball Championships, where spirit flows, our passion shows, our pride grows, where champions rise above. At Lakefront Arena in New Orleans, presented by First Bank and Trust, it's the Sun Belt Men's and Women's Basketball Championships. Contact your local ticket office today.
All this for the steakhouse bacon cheeseburger?
The smoky black pepper mayo deserve at least the full steakhouse treatment.
Very impressed.
Someone just walked in. We only have one tablecloth.
The steakhouse burger and tots for only $4.99. Get them now and try order ahead to get happy hour anytime.
Welcome back to Inside Louisiana Basketball. I'm sitting down with Louisiana women's head basketball coach, Garry Brodhead. How are you doing today?
Doing great, thank you.
Good. So I want to talk with you about the game you guys played this past Thursday against Georgia State. You guys had the best start that you've ever had this whole season. So how were you guys able to turn it around?
Well, I thought we started, slower than we usually play too fast, and I thought we started the tempo really good, and were able to score and make stops, and it went back and forth. We'd scored and we were able to make a stop, and we were eliminating turnovers, and I think that was a big part of it. The defensive side, just not letting them get a good shot. We actually got 2 charges right to start the game, and I think that kind of made them a little bit uncomfortable, and I think that helped us to kind of get the start that we had.
So Ty Doucette scored over 20 points in that game. This is the 4th time doing it this season, scoring over 20 points. So what changes do you notice she makes when she is in those games and she scores those high points versus when she doesn't?
Well, I think she's aggressive calling for the ball. That's what we want her to do, is we want to go inside and play from the high post to the block and being aggressive, wanting the ball. I think Coach Deacon Jones coaches our post, and I think he did a great job of preparing her that week to make sure that all of them really, that they were demanding the ball. And I think that's what's one of the things that really helped her to be more aggressive.
So Jamira Mathis scored a career high of 14 points in that game. So how was she able to do that? What changes did she make?
Well, a lot of times we come off of screens, and our offense is predicated on trying to get the ball to the middle. And I thought she did a great job of coming off screens and getting to to the free throw line and getting jump shots and actually getting a few layups and stuff and being aggressive. Just like Ty was, they were both really aggressive on the offensive side, and they played hard and smart. And I think they, playing together, they're getting a little bit more comfortable with each other. But I thought she did a great job of taking care of the ball and, again, playing a little bit slower and being more comfortable.
So you guys won your 2nd consecutive game this past Saturday against Georgia Southern. So what changes did you make as far as defense goes to help shut out Georgia Southern?
I tell you what, we started a little slow against Georgia Southern. They scored. They were scoring the first quarter, and a lot of it was off of threes. And as a coaching staff, we decided at half to go ahead and to shade over to the shooters. We took Brandi Williams off of one of the shooters and put her on the point guard to kind of slow the point guard down. And I thought that helped us to get them out of their offense. And then, everybody else did a good job of making sure we located their shooters, especially Brown. And, I think the second half she ended up maybe with 2 or 4 points. So that was big for us. Was able to make the adjustment, kind of shade to the shooters. When they caught, we were on their guard and putting pressure on them. And I think it just took them out their game a little bit.
So Brandi Williams is a freshman, and she led the team that game with 25 points. So how do you see her role evolving as she gets older?
Well, you know, I mean, we brought her in as a scorer. You know, she can score in many different ways. She can shoot the three. She can shoot the jump shot. She's also a penetrator, and we want her to be aggressive, you know. We want her to have no conscience when she misses a shot, keep moving forward. And that's kind of hard for a freshman to do consistently, but she's done it a couple of times for us, and we just want her to be more consistent at it because she is. I mean, we know that she can score, and we want her to, you know, to put up shots. And we want her to be aggressive on the offensive side. So
another freshman, Andrea Cornor, made 14 points in that game. So how have you been able to take these freshmen and make them key players within the game at such a young age? You know, I don't think we're doing as much as what they're bringing. You know, both of them were really big-time scorers in high school. I mean, Andrea scored 5,500 points in her high school career. Brandi scored over 2,000. So, you know, you're looking at two kids that already know how to do it. It's just how do we make them comfortable in doing it at the college level and Division I level, and I think it's taken some time, but you know, we hope. I take the you know, the concept of, hey, can we make them confident like they were in high school? And it takes a little bit of time, but they're getting more confident in themselves, and I think that's a big thing. If you're not confident in yourself, it's going to be hard to be a scorer at the college level. So how will having all this momentum going into this Saturday's game against ULM help you guys? Well, I think, you know, a lot of times in this day and age when you have young athletes and they've accomplished things before and they haven't accomplished them at this level, when you start to get some results, it makes it easier for them to work harder toward that, you know, the system that you're running or the team that they're playing for or the team they're playing with. And I think the results this past weekend are going to help us to make sure that not only that we believe in what we're doing, but we're going to continue to work harder at it. You know, it's harder to fail when you work hard. I think that's a big part of our DNA as a team is, you know, we work so hard, and you know, when we do lose, it feels like we're failing one another. And I think that's going to be the big part is continue to take this momentum and believe in one another and move forward. You know, and I always believe that if you get better every game, especially when you're young, you get better every game. Instead of failing, you're failing forward. We talk about it all the time. Are we failing back or are we failing forward? And I think the momentum has we didn't fail the last couple of times, so I think that failing forward is working. Well, thank you. Thank you. Next on Inside Louisiana Basketball, freshman guard Diamond Morrison opens up about her mother's battle with cancer, and we preview the men's tennis season with head coach Mark Jeffrey.
To perform, you need speed, skill, with every muscle, every move, you push your body to reach its full potential. But sometimes you just can't push through the pain. That's when you know it's time to address it. So when injury puts you on the sidelines, trust us to get you back in the game. Lourdes Sports Care, the team behind your team.
At the University of Louisiana at Lafayette, our Ragin Cajuns spirit goes beyond athletics.
Hi, my name is Diamond Morrison, and I'm a freshman on the Louisiana women's basketball team.
Morrison for the deep three. Diamond Morrison with her second three-pointer of the ball game. Pass in the corner to Morrison. She'll put up the three and hit it from the other corner.
I was kind of used to being away from my mom a little bit, but with her getting sick, it was definitely harder, you know, being away. And when I found out she had cancer, it was on April 10th. And I was in my room, and she called me into the living room, and she had told me that she was going to get tested before, and so I kind of knew. I didn't know that she was going to say that she had it, but I knew what she was about to tell me. And when she did tell me, it was kind of like I just felt stuck, you know, like I didn't, like it was kind of just like an unbelievable type thing, because you know, it's like you hear about it and you see it, but you never expect it to happen to somebody that you know, somebody that you love. So it was kind of just like, I was stuck. I didn't know what to say. I just cried. And I cried, and you know, she just hugged me and told me that it was gonna be okay. And she told me that it was only stage 1, which was good to hear. So they caught it early and all that. But it was just hard. And my first thought was school and having to leave. And I was like, I told her, I was like, I don't want to go. Like, I just straight up told her, I was like, I don't want to leave you. And she told me, like, she was like, the best thing that you could do for me is to go to school. And to hear her say that, like, it just showed me that regardless, regardless of what she goes through, like, she's not a selfish person at all. And she's always worried about us and wants the best for us, regardless of what is happening with her. And that's why I admire my mom so much. Basketball has helped because it's been a distraction. You know, like, I always, you know, when it comes to, like, I always have something else on my mind when I don't want to think about it. And, you know, like, of course I'm gonna think about it, like, every day, all day, but when I'm in practice or when I'm playing, like, it just gives me a distraction. When we went to Edinburgh, Texas for the tournament, the team put together a video for my mom, celebrating her success in beating her cancer. And my mom had no idea. It was funny because I was trying to, like, she wanted to come, but I kept telling her, I was like, there's no need for you to come, but they kept telling her to come, and I was confused on why they wanted her to come so bad. But yeah, they put together a video, and I thank them for that. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate their support and their love, and, you know what I'm saying, helping me get through it without them even knowing it was helping me. You know what I'm saying? My teammates are like my family, and so they helped me get through it a lot.
The fall, number one, the schedule of the fall was much stronger than we had in the past. We played the John Bro Classic, the All-American regionals, and we sent the guys off to 2 futures tournaments, professional tournaments. So the fall as a whole, we added more fall tournaments, much stronger. We had 3 guys on our team, Arthur Lebo, Pierce Dolan, and Elio Lago, defeating nationally ranked opponents. Elio Lago defeating the #1 player from LSU in the Cajun Tennis Classic, and then we had Lebo and Dolan in doubles defeating 2 nationally ranked teams, making the semifinals or regionals. And then in the professional tournaments, we went pretty far. Jan Golka won 6 matches at those professional tournaments, and then Dolan and Golka performed and really well at the All-American, winning 3 matches each at the All-American. So we performed well at the All-American, and so we felt like we had one of the better falls. Expect to see free food every single match, and that's something we worked on. Our conference is stronger than Conference USA. I mean, the conference is the strongest it's ever been. So crowds can play a part in helping us get over the line against some of those better teams. So with the free food and then with the publicity, we're putting a lot of money into marketing. We got to get after it ourselves here, and so 300 or 400 people coming out to a match can play a big difference in the outcome. We're competing for a conference championship. We're not the favorites by any means, but you've got a team that's going to be incoming is South Alabama and Georgia State. They're the class of our conference this year. We're a little bit behind those teams, but we're third, and so you're going to get to see a team that's going to compete on its home turf for a conference championship. For the first time, the regular season is going to encompass all of the Sun Belt teams. We get to travel to there, and then also they're coming to us. So that's kind of one of the highlights I think that we're going to see this spring. Players to watch would be Jan Golka. He's probably come out #1 or #2 for our team this year. I would say Elio Lago would be another player to watch. Those 2 guys already have national ranking wins. And then Dolan and Lebo, you've got one of the top performing doubles teams in our region already. So those players would be definitely the players to watch. The team goals this year Here would be, you know, we're third right now. If you ranked statistically, you ranked all the teams. We're third right now in the conference. So we don't feel like it's a huge stretch to win the conference. Also to win the regular season. I think finish top 50 in the country is definitely attainable for the guys. So that's really the main goals for us, you know, and they really don't change from year to year. We always feel like we're in the top echelon of the conference, so it's really much the same. But the difference is that our conference is a lot stronger. So it'd be a great win for the guys if we were able to do that this year.
Next on Inside Louisiana Basketball, men's head coach Bob Marlin joins me to recap the week and look ahead to upcoming Sun Belt action.
Crunchy Fritos, warm, melty cheese, all together for 99 cents.
It's like a warm chili cheese Fritos family reunion.
Yeah, I feel warm just thinking about it.
That's the chili. I feel it too.
Hurry in for Sonic's Fritos Chili Cheese Faves starting at 99 cents. And try order ahead to get happy hour anytime.
Welcome back to Inside Louisiana Basketball. I'm sitting down with Louisiana Basketball head coach Bob Marlin. How are you doing today?
Great, thank you. How are you?
Good. So the first thing I want to talk with you about is the game you guys played this past Thursday at Georgia State. DeMarcus Simons plays there, and he's already a pro prospect. So how did you guys plan on stopping him?
Well, he's a defending or returning player of the year in the league, so he's a good offensive player, good athlete, not a great outside shooter, so we wanted him to shoot some perimeter shots. He hit his first one, he hit one more, he went 2 for 7 for the game, but he wasn't the one that beat us. It was Jeff Thomas and Devin Mitchell.
So you guys started off the first half of the game kind of going back and forth. It was pretty even. Then it seemed like the second half, they just kind of took over control. So what do you think happened there?
We didn't defend the first 3 possessions second half. We gave up 2 3-point baskets and then a 2 by Simons. And then we had 2 turnovers and 1 missed shot. So we went down double figures right away. And then we got back in it a little bit based on Ja'Keena Gant's 36-point performance and offensive rebounding. But we didn't make 3-point shots, and that was the difference in the basketball game. We didn't make our shots, they made theirs.
Speaking of Ja'Keena Gant, like you mentioned, he had a 36-point game. What have you seen throughout him this season to kind of get him to where he is now, the growth?
Well, he's a senior, and he's certainly a team captain, and it's his time to lead. And he's more of a silent leader. He leads by example, and we sat down all 3 seniors when we got back from Christmas and before Malik was injured and said, I need you guys to amp up and pick your games up in the lead. And certainly Malik was playing at a very high level when he was injured, and Ja'Keena has stepped over and taken up the slack since then, and Marcus is doing a good job too. So just being a senior captain and knowing, hey, it's my turn and this is my team and I want to see what I can do.
So going into the game on Saturday, Cedric Russell was added back into the starting lineup. Is that something that we're going to be seeing throughout more of the season with him being back at the start?
Well, it depends. I missed the previous game against Little Rock, obviously, with my family, but I know that Trajan Wesley started the game, was injured. He didn't play on this road trip, and like not having Malik, not having Trajan was big in those 2 games. So Cedric has started the last couple of games and probably will continue to be in that role. Certainly got some confidence going, hit some big shots for us in both games.
So in the first half of that game, why did you choose to change defenses?
Well, we felt like Georgia Southern has not been a really good 3-point shooting team this season. They've got a couple of guys who can make them, but like us, they've struggled at times. And we felt like it was the right thing to do. And the stats bear that out. They were 6 for 28 from 3. It helped us get the lead in the first half, and then late in the game, it helped us protect a couple of possessions.
So you guys were up by 17 at the beginning of the second half, but Georgia Southern has been known for coming back, at being down in double digits before and previously in the season. So how did you guys prepare for that, and how were you able to defeat them at the end?
Well, just what you talked about. We mentioned that at halftime, that they had won 5 games previously where they had trailed by double figures in the second half, and they're a good team. Tukey Brown's going to be a first-team All-League performer for 4 consecutive years, one of 17 players in Sun Belt history to do that. They're going to make a comeback, and they're at home. It's the second loudest venue that we've played in outside of Kansas. Very tough home environment, and we threw the ball to them a couple times and helped speed up the cause. But we knew they'd make a comeback, and we were prepared for it. And even though we went down a basket, we were able to come back and steal the victory. So really proud of our guys showing some resilience. And the seniors stepping up, as you mentioned. Marcus made 6 free throws and a big basket in the last 2 minutes. Jakeenan had 2 great defensive rebounds, made 2 free throws, and then also had a big block shot that helped preserve the win. So the captain stepped up also.
So you guys will conclude your 3-game road trip this Saturday against ULM. So how do you guys plan on defeating them on their own home turf?
Well, it'll be a tough game. They lost both games in Georgia. They had to lead with 6 seconds to go in both games and lost them both. So they could very easily be 4-0. They've got a good team. They're shooting a lot more 3-point shots than they've shot in the past. Here we go again, talking about making shots and keeping people from making shots. But that'll be a key to the game as we go to Monroe. So be a tough fought game. I think definitely we're 2 of the top 4 or 5 teams in the league. So we've got to continue to make shots and play better defense, and it'll give us an opportunity to win.
Next on Inside Louisiana Basketball, we take a look at the upcoming schedules for Ragin Cajuns basketball.
So here at UL Lafayette, a lot of the classrooms and a lot of the programs here are trying to implement technology as much as we can. It's advancing every day. So a lot of the classrooms try to build on the technology and help you prepare for day-to-day life that you will actually use whenever you start your career. I absolutely love the university app. It's super helpful. I use the mobile app to check emails, to do all my finances on my phone, my schedule of classes. In our Moodle program, it's basically an online classroom for each class where you can talk to your professor, turn in assignments, chat with classmates to keep up with the classroom. And it's very helpful whenever you can just check an assignment or check when a due date is right then and there on your phone instead of having to open up a laptop and do all that.
So to take an online class, it was super user-friendly, super easy to understand. The PowerPoints were so easy to follow. The teacher was talking through the PowerPoints. It was like a video. So it's just so cool to be able to almost be in a class and not be in a classroom at the same time, and I can take it at my own pace.
It really helps me stay on top of my game and succeed here at UL Lafayette.
Sonic's Fritos Chili Cheese Faves, a Fritos Chili Pie, Juicy Junior Burger, or Junior Wrap. Does all this comfort come at a price? Yes, it starts at 99 cents. Hurry in for Sonic's Fritos Chili Cheese Faves.
Thanks for watching another episode of Inside Louisiana Basketball. I'll be leaving you with the upcoming schedules for Louisiana Basketball.